would not pay for the liver transplant. They said no. Finally, the doctors intervened, the healthcare providers, the nurses intervened. Still, they said no. Eventually, they started literally marching in front of the offices of the insurance company. They finally gave in, told the family they'd pay for the operation. A few hours later, she died. It was too late. You know, Americans, consumers, patients, you should be able to make your own healthcare decisions. You and your doctors. Insurance companies shouldn't be in the business of making healthcare decisions. That's something
right on.
We have a crisis facing America and the world, and that moral crisis is known as global warming. And until America addresses this issue, the world will not address it, not in a serious way. We're the worst polluter on the planet.
Yes, we are.
We're 4% of the world's population. We put out 25% of the world's greenhouse gases. 22 million barrels of oil a day. That's what America uses. This has to change. Here's what I think we should do. I think we ought to cap our carbon emissions in this country. That cap ought to come down every single year. We ought to reduce our carbon emissions by at least 80% by the year 2050. Below the cap, we ought to make the polluters pay. Make them buy a permit if they're going to put out any carbon dioxide. That money should be at least $30 billion. That money should be invested in wind, solar, cellulose-based biofuels, clean, renewable sources of energy. Now, I said this last night, I'll repeat it again today. I do have a difference with my two Democratic opponents for the nomination because unlike them, I have been and am still opposed to building more nuclear power plants. I don't think we have a safe way to dispose of the waste. They're dangerous, they're incredibly expensive. This is not the answer to dealing with the issue of global warming. And I think we ought to have a moratorium on the building of more coal-fired power plants. And then finally, we need a president who will ask the American people to be patriotic about something other than war. A president who says, says we are in this together. And what we're willing to do together as a national community matters. And we have to be willing to sacrifice. You know the famous John Kennedy inauguration speech, ask not what your country can do for you. Well, this is the kind of place America is in today. And the president needs to ask Americans to sacrifice, to change our behavior, which means we're going to have to conserve in our homes, in our workplaces. We're going to have to drive different kinds of vehicles, much more fuel-efficient vehicles, innovative fuel-efficient vehicles. And if we do these things, then we can actually go to China, India, the rest of the world, and develop a global solution to a global problem. Trade. America's trade policy has been set by big multinational corporations. This is exactly the reason we have NAFTA, CAFTA, all these trade deals that have sent millions of American jobs overseas. But for what reason? So that we can pad the profits of the biggest corporations in America. That's why. And this is not hard to understand. These trade deals have allowed them to leave America, take their jobs with them, go overseas, hire people to do the work for 10 cents on the dollar, meet no labor standards, no environmental standards. Sometimes they hire children to do their work. We need to have a trade policy that is both economically fair for America and the rest of the world, and that is moral and just. That no American company is allowed to pick up, leave it, listen to it, and allow children to do their work. That's not fair. That's not what America is. We have a tax policy that actually gives tax breaks to American companies that are sending jobs overseas. This is insanity. I mean complete and total insanity. And it has to stop. And this bowing down to the moneyed interests, all at extraordinary cost to the middle class and low-income workers in this country, is devastating. It's not just happening in America. Look at what's happening in Iraq. I mean, really, we have a bunch of paid mercenaries roaming around over there, working for Blackwater and others, making 10 times what our men and women in uniform will make. We've got to get rid of them. That's exactly right. Get billion-dollar, no-bid contracts in Iraq. This has to be brought to an end. It must be brought to an end. America needs to address the issue of low-income families who are struggling just to survive. The Congress finally raised the minimum wage. It's fine. It's going to $7.25 an hour. It's not enough. Minimum wage ought to be at least $9.50 an hour. It ought to be We need to change the laws to strengthen the rights of unions to organize in the workplace. A lot of Americans seem to have forgotten, particularly a lot of politicians, that it is the union movement that helped build the middle class in this country. Absolutely crucial if we're going to strengthen and grow the middle class in the future in America. I mean, we have millions and millions of jobs that will be low-income jobs at or below the poverty level if we don't allow those workers to organize. If those workers are not members of unions. But if they're members of unions, they can be strong members of the middle class. They can support their families with decent wages, health care coverage, pension protection. We need to strengthen the right to organize in this country. We need to make it easier. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, just in the last couple of years,